How's space?
Space is fine.
From Asgard to the Avengers, from our world to the Dark World, Thor has already been on quite the cinematic journey. But I'm pretty sure we haven't seen the last of the Thunder God, and Phase 3 will be here before you can say luscious golden locks. And there are so many stories in the Thor mythology that would be perfect for Phase 3. So here are 5 potential storylines for the inevitable Thor 3. I'm Will, and this is my war to make your superhero movies better. First up, it's the Ballad of Beta Ray Bill. Walt Simonson wrote some of the very best Thor stories, and in the Ballad of Beta Ray Bill, Thor comes up against an enemy who is somehow also worthy to use his hammer. Odin, wise man that he is, solves this dilemma in the way that any good father would, by making Thor and Beta Ray Bill fight to the death. When we last left Asgard, Loki was masquerading as Thor's father, Odin. So, with a tiny bit of source tweaking, suddenly Odin's severe to-the-death solution becomes a bit more understandable. Following up from there, option 2 would be the Surtur saga. Bam! Simonson again. While it's technically a continuation of the Beta Ray Bill storyline, Bill could easily be pushed to the sidelines, and this interesting exploration of the villains of the 9 realms could stand on its own.
What's in that book? Come on, let me see.
Thor fights his way through a number of creatures and antagonists who are eventually revealed to have been unleashed by the fire demon Surtur. What's great about this story is that it incorporates the Norse apocalypse of Ragnarok, so the stakes would be massively high. Plus, Surtur in the comics is such a beast that Thor, Odin, and Loki have to team up to stop him. Loki being insanely popular in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, audiences would eat up the chance for some actual real redemption. That is, if we can ever learn to trust him again.
You will always kneel.
Next up, it's Robert Roddy's For Asgard. If Alan Taylor returns to direct Part 3, For Asgard could play very well into his Game of Thrones sensibilities. With Odin suddenly out of the picture, as conveniently seemed to be the case at the end of the Dark World, Thor is forced to deal with, on his own, internal uprisings, angry frost giants, and get this, an extremely long winter.
Winter is coming.
Boring, boring. Oh, Game of Thrones is back on, and they're having another wedding? It can't be as bad as last year's. As if that weren't bad enough, Mjolnir also decides to no longer acknowledge Thor as its master. And we all know what happens when a hammer goes rogue. Or how about Thor, Vikings by Garth Ennis? The god of thunder has already battled frost giants and elves, why not Vikings? In this storyline, a ship full of cursed Viking zombies arrives in New York 1,000 years after it set sail. You heard me, Viking zombies. Though the violence from the comic book would have to be toned down a lot, depending on what state the Marvel Cinematic Universe is in during Thor 3, this could be a great way to introduce audiences to Doctor Strange.
I'm Doctor Strange.
Who plays a major role in the Viking plot. It's clear that the good Doctor is on his way. I mean, did you catch that reference in The Winter Soldier? Did you?
I understood that reference.
Good for you, Cap. Finally, Thor 3 might be the best place to introduce the Eternal Saga. This story by Roy Thomas and Mark Grunewald tells of an ancient race of superhumans,
the Celestials,
whose experiments created the Eternals and the Deviants. Thor originally encountered the Eternals over 1,000 years ago, but had his memory erased. I hate that. Huh? What was I talking about? Oh yeah! Also, the
Celestials
performed their same experiments on other worlds. Worlds that could have major implications for Marvel's cinematic future. Do the words Kree and Skrull sound familiar to anyone? No? Seriously? Okay, but trust me, those words will sound familiar after Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's it! 5 comic book storylines for Thor 3 to explore. Agree with me? Disagree with me? Think I missed one? Let me know in the comments. I'll be checking them out. And remember that, like, sharing is caring, so show some love. Come on, give us a share. Please stick around on the channel and check out more Will's War. There's Batman here, there's Incredibles here.